Every NHL trading window, you'll always see some of these. But what is even the point of trading for future considerations, especially when it looks like one of these teams is getting nothing in return? First and foremost, future considerations can be defined as an agreement that can be decided on later. This means that if my team trades you a player for future considerations, we can agree on the compensation at a later date. That's why trading future considerations is required as the bare minimum for completing a trade, since in the NHL, players can't be traded for literally nothing, as that would go against the CBA. So now that we know that future considerations are the bare minimum required for a trade and can be agreed upon at a later date, you start to wonder, what exactly could they be agreeing to at the later date? As far as we know, future considerations can mean anything except money or physical objects like team equipment, as per the new CBA. I know I just said the future considerations can mean almost anything, but there is one important rule defined in it regarding trading for players with it. This requirement states that players cannot be loaned out in future considerations deals. For example, player A gets dealt to a team for future considerations under the condition that player A gets returned to their original team at the start of the next season. So that is not allowed in the future considerations rule. However, players can do this themselves, as seen with players like Antoine Vermette, but the teams themselves cannot agree on this and negotiate it within the deal. In many, if not all future considerations cases, the terms of the deal never get released, and even if they do, it is something so extremely minor, like the two teams swapping 7th round picks or something along those lines. And whether the NHL even polices these agreements and makes teams do good on them is another huge question in itself, since, of course, we don't have an answer to that. This leads us back to our question. If so much time and hassle goes into making a future considerations trade, why would a GM even want to make one, or in some cases, multiple? Well, it all leads to the two words that now control the NHL. Salary cap. Okay, I lied, it's not just the salary cap, but that plays a big role in the discussions too. The other key factor is contract spots. You see, every team in the NHL is allowed to have 50 contracts signed to their books, so these future considerations deals are all about planning for the next few seasons and trying to make a team as comfortable as it possibly can while fitting within the salary cap and the 50 contract limit. For example, if I have a player on my team who is either eating up salary that could be going to someone else, or a player who is taking up a contract spot ahead of another player I'd rather have, that's when I'd make the deal to trade that player for future considerations. And that's why future considerations are such a big deal in today's NHL. It's all about setting up your team for the future, and it's the only legal way to trade nothing without saying that it actually is nothing. So again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you at the next video.